Hello, welcome to another session of Learn with Veer Sagar. Lately, I've been getting a lot of requests for subjects on which to speak. But very rarely it happens that I get more than one request for the same subject. And today I have two subjects on which I have got more than one person requesting that I cover. The first one is negotiations. And the second one is why me. So let's take the first one first. Negotiations. When people talk about negotiations, the thing that comes to mind is negotiations means price haggling. A lot of times people say, okay, please give us your budget or please give us your, what you're looking for, which basically says that this is the limit that he has set. If he's buying, then this is the maximum he will take. If he's selling, the minimum that he will take. So he has set a limit. And then you have to now work around it. Mostly people would say no, right? Sometimes they say, okay, this is my list price. And the negotiation starts from there. But mostly when we talk about negotiations, we're talking about price. But negotiations is much more than pricing. In fact, I think it's a very serious art. And it requires, first, tremendous patience. I don't have that. I'm a very bad negotiator. I can't go through over the same thing again and again, right? And one of the art of negotiation is to keep going over and again till you wear you down. And you say, okay, for God's sake, yes. Right? So whereas I say that almost like the second time the guy comes back with the same thing again, I say, okay, now we've discussed that, let's move on. So the first thing you need is patience. The second thing you need is knowledge of the customer. And when I say knowledge of the customer, what is it? What makes him tick? Right? What kind of a personality does he have? How desperate or what kind of pressures he has of completing this negotiation, of signing this contract. Because when you are negotiating, always negotiate from a position of strength. It does not mean you got to push it down. Because a negotiation which is too one-sided does not last. Again, when I'm talking about negotiations, I'm talking about long-term relationships. And also, I'm talking about negotiations done by smaller companies and startups which do not have a big battery of lawyers, right, and administrators who are trained in this to wear you down with legalese. Last week, I've just written a book and the publisher gave me a contract which is 22 pages of small print. And then I looked at 4 items which are of interest to me, right? And they looked okay. So I said, fine. Then he said, have you read the contract? I said, no, and I have no intentions of reading because there is no way I can read through your 22 pages of small print and then find out faults. Rest, I presume, are standard, so we'll go ahead with that. But that's generally what's done. And when you get these ready-made printed contracts, they generally expect you to sign, right? We're saying, I accept. I mean, you see this on any computer system. When you buy anything or you want to open something, it gives you a long contract which you say, just tick, I accept. Unless you say, I accept, it does not go to the next step. So for negotiations, you need this. Why do you need to know about the person? Because then you know how to position it to him. There are some people who do not like to negotiate too much. You state a position, they state a position, and if you can in matter of minutes come to an conclusion, fine, otherwise it's off. There are others who would like you to give in. So my first rule I have when I negotiate is first I write down what is it that I must have, what's my aim, what am I negotiating here. And please note, You can only optimize one item. You cannot negotiate 4 items and say, okay, I will get all these maximum in this. Pick one item which you must maximize or minimize, whatever that is most critical to you. Keep that. Then make a list of items which you should nice to have, a list of items which you would like to give up. And in the contract, you put those items which you like to give up or which you can give up ahead and start negotiating on that. Guy will push you, then you give in to those items. Sometimes fully, sometimes partially. What you have now done is established yourself as a flexible, understanding negotiator. So, and the guy is feeling happy that he is winning. He is getting points that he wants. Then having done that, then you come to areas which you must have. And since you have come to the bottom, you said, fine, we've given that, but I need these 3 items. By that time, the guy is so pleased with you, he will go ahead and give you that. So understand what you want, prioritize them, but always have in your contract items which you would give up, which you do not want, but you will give up as part of negotiations and put them ahead. Sometimes when it comes to price negotiation, there are people I know who would like to negotiate not because they think they get a lot of money, to show their strength, their position. In a particular company, the finance director always wanted to show to his subordinates that whatever you do, he can always beat that and get a better price. His company people knew, we knew. So we always built in a margin for him. And it went up anyway. Once it so happened that he did not take that margin and we sold it to him above the list price, that had some other problems. Maybe in another session I will cover that. So find out about that person. Person don't like to negotiate, find about them. Other thing is, look at the background. When you are negotiating, so when I am trying to give a price to a foreign customer, a customer in the US, right? I don't negotiate because they will always expect a cut. So I said, look, I don't negotiate. You tell me what is worth to you. What are you paying for it in your country when you get it done? Give me 25% less. Give me 30% less. What has it done? It has now given him the impression that he is getting a good deal. Whatever he is buying at today, he or she is paying today, they are going to get 30% less. 30% less on the US price. So they start thinking in terms of US pricing and give you a pricing, which will always be better than what you could think. You would think from cost plus, right? He would think from cost minus, purchase minus. And since he's thinking in a different currency and you are thinking in different currency, you always gain if you leave it to him. And he also gets a feeling that he or she has got a great deal. So negotiations are basically understanding the person, understanding what you want. What is the objective of this deal? Where do you stand? How far are you prepared to go? Right? And what you must have and what you must not have. It's not a win. It's not a winner takes all, or it's a win or lose situation. Because if one party feels in the negotiations that they have been done in, that negotiation will not last for long. So with that, it's Veer Sagar. Thank you, saying thank you very much till we meet again. Bye.